Thanks for tuning in to Talking Point today. I'm your host, Niraj Shah. Now, there are a few companies that got hit by the pandemic pretty severely. And there are some who decided that even though there was a bit of a shock and an off treatment given by the pandemic to them in the first few days, they stood up. They decided not to tamper around with the salaries or layoffs. They decided to take the challenge head on. And in some of those, there is a bold and beautiful initiative by virtue of it taking not an advantage of the pandemic, but even using this pandemic situation to make new launches, maybe expand market share, tap new categories, and kind of change the DNA of the organization, if you will. Now, I don't know if Dabur is the company that is doing all of that, but I thought it's best to get in the CFO Lalit Malik to talk about whether all of this is happening and can more happen, and how do they see the new normal, as he just used the term just before we came on air. Mr. Malik, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in.
Good
Hope
morning.
all is safe.
Good morning. I think that
Okay, great. Tell us a bit about how Dabur is adapting to this situation 2.0. I won't call it Dabur 2.0 because it may be Dabur 3.0, Dabur 4.0, I don't know. But this is definitely a situation 2.0, pre-pandemic or pre-COVID and post-COVID. How do you see the landscape post-COVID?
sure. So I think it's a unprecedented event that brings in lots of uncertainty, but at the same time, the challenges brings in lots of opportunities. So the way we look at it is we look at the opportunity in the crisis that everybody is going through, and it's still in the pipeline. It's not yet over. What we have focused on is to look at our strength, to look at the opportunities that's available, and to ensure how maximum we can give benefit to our consumers in view of our core sector, which is healthcare and also hygiene. So that has been our endeavor, and as a result of it, we have been able to reach out to maximum consumers with regard to our products, to give them the benefit of immunity and also as a preventive measure to fight this corona crisis.
There seems to be a bit of a, as I said, a bold and beautiful initiative by Dabur, right? You're doing a slew of these launches as well. I mean, what's the thought out here? Is it a desire to gain more market share or mind space, or just a realization that while you were present in multiple categories, there were probably even more that you may not have been present fully, and the pandemic made you realize that?
Well, I think we already have a very healthy pipeline of new product launches. And when we saw Corona hitting the whole universe, what we realized that our Ayurvedic products do have the quality and the strength to build in immunity and to fight the disease that is there. And as a result of it, we came out with the products like Giloy, we came out with Tulsi Drop, Haldi Drops, Immunity Kit, Suraksha Kit, etc. So we focused on the healthcare sector so that more and more benefit can reach out to people at large. And therefore, we fast-tracked all our new product launches in the healthcare sector. And in addition to that, even on hygiene, like our sanitizer and also veggie washes, etc., we focused on that. And then we came out with the new product launch in a shortest possible time so that we were able to reach out to consumer and give them the benefit of these products, which was the need of an hour for the consumer. So that has been our focus, and it has worked well for us. And even the categories like oral care, we just saw here, has been doing pretty well for us. We have also launched Ayurvedic toothpaste also, so that at least more and more benefit can reach out to our consumers. So that has been our endeavor.
But you're also, I mean, I'll get to healthcare in a bit because that would require some time. But I'm just wondering, you're also doing a line addition of sorts, right? Because aside of health and hygiene, I think you're getting into pickles, flavored tea, which is a line addition and not necessarily an extension of the healthcare segment. Now, again, and that's maybe not necessarily your core strength, if you will. And excuse me for saying that, but because your core strength is Ayurveda, healthcare, etc. So, what is this? Because these are all crowded spaces, but you're still venturing here. What's happening?
Right. So I think when we look at it, even in the home care segments, then homemade product is already there, which Dabur is offered.
Okay.
And therefore, it is a natural extension of SKUs that we looked at. And even there, we are looking more as the healthcare benefit. So when we talked about, the tea, or we are talking about Tulsi tea, etc. So that is more to give the health benefit. That has been our endeavor. And also, it's a natural extension of our existing homemade category of products, which we are expanding. And the other thing, I think we are ready to take the step and introduce our products. We fail fast and we win fast. I think that has been our approach, and we call it as a fearless approach. So therefore we are venturing out in terms of the new products, but keeping in mind that it is an extension of our existing core categories. It is the extension of our healthcare and also hygiene. So that has been kept in mind.
Okay, now when I look at healthcare, right? I mean, the Chyawanprash sales that you made were the talk of town, right? There were cartoons made on it, as in a good way, I'm saying, and everybody was talking about it. Now, my question is purely from a company perspective: the scale up and the leg up that you saw there seems to suggest that even if it would moderate a bit, and one doesn't know if it will, I would love your thoughts there. But even if it moderates a bit, the new base is substantially higher than what you've done ever in the past in Chyawanprash and a few other things. So, are we to assume that healthcare is kind of gonna drive and propel growth in a meaningful way, or could there be, or are there caveats to that?
Well, I think I agree with you that Chyawanprash sale, which went 7 times or 700% growth. I think that has been due to COVID implication in the short run, because this was not treated as a season for Chyawanprash, but considering the fact that it has an immunity support, I think even the existing as well as the new customers have taken the benefit of it, and they are utilizing it. So that has been a positive here. When we take it in the medium to long term, I think the impact of corona is going to remain for some time. It's not that tomorrow it's going to vanish. And also the other aspect is that people have become health conscious now. So therefore they are willing to invest in their health, and as a result of it, the demand for our healthcare products is likely to continue to improve and grow. However, it may not be to the extent of 700% or 7 times, etc. But certainly it will strengthen going forward, because more and more new customers are going to use preventive healthcare measures and also the health supplements that Dabur is offering in view of their health benefits. So we do expect to have a positive implications. However, it may not be to the extent that we saw in Chyawanprash in the past.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was not even implying that that would be the case. That was an exceptional thing, but I mean, it just probably takes you to a newer plane. My question to Mr. Malik, just a follow up to that, is that because this category is brimming, right? And you are brimming with confidence. This category is full of people who want to invest in healthcare and take your products or take products in this category. Would you look to kind of consolidate because upping the supply might be a challenge too, or would you go all out and push very hard and say that let me gain even more market share, or let me get even more customers into the fold, even if it comes at the cost of maybe margins or maybe setting up newer supply chain avenues, so on and so forth?
Well, I think we are expanding our capacity, because we do want to reach out to as many people as possible, because I think it is very important immunity built up for an individual. So therefore, we are going to use our capacity expansion to meet the increasing demand, and we are going to go all out to reach to our consumers, so that more and more people get the benefit of our products.
Okay, so would you say that uh, while it might be difficult to guesstimate what the overall volume growth might be with expanded capacities, with the kind of demand that is there, the surprise, if any, from Dabur's end on the volume growth numbers would be on the upside?
Well, I think, see, we have to still see the external factors that may have an implications
Okay.
on our volume growth. I think we have in the past have always mentioned about mid to high single digit volume growth, but in the current scenario, in view of uncertainty, it is not easy for us to talk in terms of any volume growth. However, our focus will be that we will have some growth, but very difficult to talk in terms of the future estimation or numbers at this stage.
Okay. Okay. Then let's try and okay. Before I get to below the top line numbers, what is it that excites you the most about this opportunity? Healthcare, yes, is an ever all pervasive thing for your portfolio, but within these last 3 months, in terms of data that you would have collected from your sales teams across, etc., what is it that is looking very promising, and what is it that surprised you guys positively or negatively, if you will?
Sure. I think the biggest positive is that working remotely and yet accelerating the actions. I think that has been a very positive. I think use of technology and also taking advantage of technology to take decisions faster and to move faster and yet maintain the social distance. I think has been a very very positive experience for us. And in fact, what we have seen, as you also mentioned, that our number of product launches have actually accelerated even though there has been a lockdown and there is a distance. And plus I think a lot of digital media and digital reach has expanded, and it's a new experience or a new normal that has set in. So I think it is a very positive, and as I said, every challenge brings its opportunities, and I think our focus has been to look at the opportunity in the challenges. And that has been a very pleasant I would say surprise, where we were able to connect with thousands of our distributors on Zoom call and communicate at the same time, and not wait for the physical or personal communication or a touch, and also coordinating with digital media and reaching out to consumer, talking on the benefit of our new products, etc. I think this has been a very very positive, and also to say that even in collection, looking at NACH in the form of technology on the banking sector, RTGS, etc., has been a very positive developments, and I'm sure that they are going to stay, and not only stay, they are only going to improve from here going forward. So this has been a new learning, a new normal, and I think it's a good opportunity to explore and come out of your comfort zone and look for the opportunity and stretch yourself. Has been a very positive experience so far for us.
Okay. Well, thanks for that answer, Mr. Malik. Let's focus a bit on the operational metrics as well. Just one quick thing. You mentioned that you are looking to up the capacities. From what I read, you are also on a drive to increase your direct reach outlets as well. Can you talk a bit about that?
Sure. So I think it has been our long-term strategy since past, and we have been increasing our direct reach from 1 million to 1.1 and then 1.2 million direct reach we have already achieved, and our target is to become 1.5 in next couple of years. In addition to that, in the rural market, we have increased our reach to villages. So we were around 44,000 villages in the beginning of last year, where we are right now more than 52,000, and our target is to go beyond 60,000 by next year. So I think we have strengthened our reach to the consumer, to the rural market. We have also modified our products as a low unit pack so that the affordability is better in these areas. We have increased our SKUs, strengthened our distribution network. So therefore, that has actually helped us, and we are going to keep building on that going forward so that we can strengthen our direct reach and leverage the opportunities that is coming our way.
Okay, so how do you expect in a period wherein you can't forecast what the volume growth numbers would be, and there would be external challenges, as you mentioned, you are upping capacities, you are increasing your direct reach, you have not laid off people, you've not cut salaries as well, if I'm not wrong. So how do all of these tie in with how will you achieve operational efficiency? You have done reasonably okay compared to estimates on the margins this quarter as well. How do you think the next 9 months would be? You are the best person to answer that, right?
Sure. See, I think we do understand there is an uncertainty on the top line, given the scenario that still the COVID numbers are increasing, and given that there are still certain lockdown areas, especially in the aviation, hospitality sector, etc. So we do see there are certain bottlenecks yet. Having said that, I think our focus has been to improve the operational efficiencies, to reduce cost, and also take care of our people, our employees. I think that's the biggest asset that we have in the organization. And this, of course, we do understand is a short-term crisis that are there with the industry overall. So therefore, it is important right now to, one, make sure that our people are healthy, they are safe, and they are able to perform in the best possible manner in this challenging environment. We have focused on Project Samriddhi, which is not just a cost reduction, but it is cost optimization. That has been the objective of this project, where we have looked at zero-based budgeting in each and every line item of our expenditure, and we have also engaged the external consultant to help us to ensure the best practices are implemented. We are using technology to the fullest. We have used digital as the maximum to reach out even in this lockdown scenario. So what we have focused on is to ensure that we are cutting the fat but not the bone. We are ensuring that we bring in operational efficiencies and look for the possible opportunities to expand our top line, so that we are able to not only maintain our market share but gain the market share in this environment. So that has been our focus and our strategy, and that's the way we are working towards future.
So you are not looking to really enhance margins. A lot of companies wherein the top line growth has been decimated have focused a lot on cost cutting, and it has shown a new EBITDA margin performance for them. I'm guessing you are saying that you're not in that game because you're anyways getting the revenue growth as well. You are one of the few industries which is getting revenue growth too.
Well, I think our approach has been to certainly improve our margin through the reduction of cost and cost optimization. However, as I said, I use the word cost optimization and not reduction. We are
Got
going
it.
to invest it back into ad pro expenses. Because we have launched many new products, and we are going to launch more products in the coming months and coming quarters. So therefore, that requires investment in the form of ad pro expenses. So whatever advantage or whatever benefit we'll get of the operational margin, we are going to invest it back, so that we are able to reach out to as many people as possible, and therefore help in terms of improving our top line. So that has been our focus, and therefore endeavor is to maintain the margin and invest it back in business expansion wherever there is an advantage available in view of the margin improvement in ad pro, so that we can gain maximum market share possible in the current scenario.
You kind of answered my question, Mr. Malik, because I mean, it almost seemed that as if Q1 saw a degrowth in ad spends, etc., which I presume will come back in the quarters to come because you will not cut back on ad spends for so long. So, but you reckon that the trajectory will be maintained. You won't see a significant dip because of all the initiatives that you would want to do in order to increase top line.
See, I think when we talked about our media expenses, I think there were a couple of reasons. Number one, due to lockdown, there were not many products like home care or personal care products were being sold. They were complete lockdown. So therefore, there was no advantage of investing in TV media. Second thing was also that there were no new programs that were being launched. However, we took advantage of the old Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. in the DD channel, and at the same time, we used the news channel to reach out to our viewers at large, and also use digital. Now, all these things helped us is that we still increased our viewership, but at the same time, we were able to reduce our cost and focus on the area which were healthcare and hygiene products where the sale were happening. So that was the result we saw in Q1 with regard to the discount, with regard to change in the different channels, and with regard to digital being the focus. We have seen that there has been reduction in the media cost. However, going forward, as I said, that we are going to increase our new product launches. The new programs are going to be telecast on TV, etc. So we are going to come back on those areas, and we are going to invest into these categories and the product also, so that we are able to maintain or increase our market share in business scenario.
Okay. What about market share trajectory? Have you materially increased it in certain pockets? Is it possible to talk a bit about what the future ahead could hold in store as well in terms of market share in key categories?
Right. See, as far as market share is concerned, we are leaders in many of the categories,
Of course.
whether it is food or whether it is healthcare, etc. So we have actually strengthened our market share in the categories, and in the categories where we are not market leader, also we have maintained and gained the market share. So that has been our focus in the categories that we play. That either we need to maintain or increase the market share in respective categories, and that will continue to remain our focus also at the back of new product launches that we talked about.
Okay. The one big sore point, Mr. Malik, you would admit or agree, is the international business performance. So some light there.
Sure. I think as far as our international business is concerned, in few pockets we have seen very positive growth. When we talk about Turkey, for example, in the local currency, we talk about Bangladesh, for example, and also the US in Namaste that we have seen. We have seen a positive growth in the local currency. However, when we convert in Indian rupees, when you talk about Turkey, etc., it obviously gets muted. In addition to that, there are markets like MENA region and SSA, where and Nepal for that matter, where we have seen a decline primarily because of the geopolitical disturbances that we have seen, and especially in UAE, where there is a population reduction, where people have come back to their respective countries. The travel is almost reduced or has become negligible. And these countries were dependent on tourist and travel. So there has been an overall economy, and oil crises have also pulled down the MENA region. So there has been geopolitical disturbances on at the back of Corona, where we have seen big impact in last quarter. Having said that, even there we have maintained and gained our market share in our respective categories wherever we are present. So our focus in that scenario is to continue to strengthen our stand and focus on healthcare and hygiene products there also. So we are introducing many healthcare products and also the sanitizer, etc., so that we are able to strengthen our position in this international market also. Having said that, it will also depend upon how soon things are likely to get normalized, given the uncertainty that we are all in.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. One final question then, and I think you briefly referred to it earlier that it's very, very difficult for you to give a sense of what the volume growth numbers could look like in these uncertain times. I just wanted to understand if uh, in certain categories, a lot of people were saying that there will be pent up demand now. It obviously doesn't come for the product categories that you are in, and therefore, as July, which is gone by, we just into the starting close of August. Has July been as good as the month of April, May, June average on average would have been, or are we, to your mind, seeing a bit of a cool off because of a variety of reasons, including micro lockdowns that are starting to appear across the country?
Well, I think when I looked at my last quarter, I think there has been gradual improvement month over month. So when we looked at April, I think it was
Right.
majority of the period was down. So May was better than April, June was better than May. So therefore, we have seen gradual improvements as we are also in the current scenario. So things are coming close to normal right now, I would say, and therefore there is a positive improvement. Having said that, I think it also depends upon the macro factors. Like we are expecting a new near to normal monsoon also. There is also possibility of rural being strengthened in view of fiscal advantage, etc. So there are certain positive offshoots that are going to be there. Festival season is going to start now. Already Raksha Bandhan is just gone yesterday. So I think I would say there is a gradual improvement that we have noticed month over month, and I think we are hopeful that things will improve as the time passes. But at the same time, we would only give a caveat that uncertainty still remains. But we are hopeful that things will start improving from here.
Now, just one last question, Mr. Malik. Just in order to get my answer, July has seen a bunch of tier 2, tier 3 rural areas see an expansion in cases and micro lockdowns. That hasn't impacted business in a material way. I think we just lost.
No, I
Okay, no,
think
sorry,
our
Mr.
business
Malik.
is
Yeah,
not
sorry,
materially
sorry, Mr.
impacted.
Malik. I would
In
request you to repeat the answer, Mr. Malik. I just lost the first half of the answer. Sorry.
Sure. So I said that we did not have any adverse material impact of the number of cases being higher, etc. On the other hand, what we have seen is that things are becoming better from the past. So therefore, we are noticing a positive implications. Having said that, I think there is still backed by a lot of uncertainty. That's the reason why we are not able to commit any number. But directionally, we have seen a positive stability coming back in the business month over month that we have seen.
Cross fingers for that to continue, Mr. Malik. But more importantly,
Absolutely. Hope for that.
yeah, thank you for taking the time out today and speaking to us at length about the post-COVID situation. Look forward to talk to you once again soon, maybe post the next quarter numbers.
Thank you very much. Stay safe and stay healthy. All the best.
Yeah, stay healthy. Thank you so much, Mr. Malik.
Thank you.
And viewers, thanks for tuning into this edition of The Talking Point.
Thank you.